You know that moment when you ask an AI to write an email for you or create some wild image? It just happens. Feels kind of like magic, right? Something weightless happening up in the cloud. But here's the thing. AI isn't virtual at all. It has a real, physical, and honestly, a very heavy reality. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on its three most shocking costs. So let's get right to it. What is the real price tag when you hit enter on that prompt? It's not something you'll see on a credit card statement. No, it's measured in something far more tangible and way more surprising.
You've got to wrap your head around this one core idea. AI is not just some clever code floating in the ether. It's a heavy-duty industrial process. It runs inside massive, real-world buildings called data centers that are just humming with activity, constantly chewing through resources. It has a footprint, and trust me, it's a lot bigger than you think.
Okay, so that brings us to our first hidden cost. And it's a weird one to think about. Water. Yeah, you heard that right. Artificial intelligence is incredibly thirsty. This is where it gets real. For just a handful of questions you ask something like ChatGPT, say 20 to 50 prompts, it guzzles down a full half-liter bottle of fresh water. Now you might think, okay, one bottle, what's the big deal? But now multiply that. Multiply it by hundreds of millions of people, all asking billions of questions every single day. It adds up fast. So the big question is, how on earth can an algorithm drink water? I mean, it doesn't exactly have a mouth, right? Well, the answer has everything to do with heat. A whole lot of heat. All right, here's the breakdown. Inside those giant data centers, you've got thousands of powerful computer chips running the AI, and they get insanely hot. We're talking hot enough to fry an egg on. To stop them from literally melting, these facilities use something called cooling towers. Just picture giant industrial humidifiers that are constantly spraying and evaporating enormous amounts of fresh water to carry all that heat away. So your simple prompt triggers a calculation, which generates crazy heat, which then vaporizes real-world water. And this isn't just a theory. You can see the impact right here in the data. After this whole generative AI thing exploded, just look at how much more water big players like Microsoft and Google started using. We're talking increases of 20–30% in a single year. And when these data centers are in places already facing droughts, well, they're not just using water, they're in direct competition for it with farms and local communities. So, if the water cost is surprising, the energy cost is the main event. If AI is thirsty, then it is an absolutely ravenous energy monster. Seriously, it's like a power black hole. Let's start with the upfront cost. Just to train a model like GPT-3 one time, it took 1.28 gigawatt hours of electricity. To put that crazy number into perspective, that is enough energy to power 120 American homes for an entire year. And remember, that was just for one model, one training session. But the really massive cost is in the day-to-day use. Every single time you ask an AI to generate an image, it uses enough electricity to fully charge your smartphone from 0 to 100. Think about that for a second. If you're someone who likes to create dozens of images a day, you are personally responsible for a pretty significant energy drain. And this demand is just exploding. Even Elon Musk has said that the real bottleneck for AI in the near future isn't going to be the computer chips, but the raw availability of electricity and the transformers needed to get it where it needs to go. We're basically building this incredible, futuristic digital world on top of a very primitive, very hungry need for just raw power. And that brings us to the final, and by far the most hidden cost. This is the one that the tech industry really doesn't like to talk about, because it's not about resources, it's about people. It's the secret that's hiding in plain sight in the term artificial intelligence. You know, we have this image of AI as some autonomous thinking machine, a brain in a box. But the reality is a little different. The intelligence part, sure, that comes from the complex algorithm. But the artificial part, a huge chunk of that is powered by a vast, global, and hidden network of human beings. So let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered why these models are relatively safe? Why, if you ask it something truly dangerous or hateful, it usually refuses? Is it because the AI is somehow moral? The answer is a hard no. The reason your AI experience is clean is because of people called data labelers. Before a model like ChatGPT is released to the public, these workers have to manually sift through the absolute worst, most toxic, violent, and traumatic stuff the internet has to offer. They look at it and they label it as harmful. They're basically a human shield, absorbing all that digital poison to teach the AI what to filter out, so you never have to see it.
And this is where the story gets really, really difficult. To make ChatGPT safer, OpenAI reportedly hired an outsourcing firm in Kenya. The job description was literally to view and label the most disturbing content imaginable, things I can't even describe here. And the reported wage for doing this psychologically damaging work? Less than $2 an hour.
This hidden workforce, often located in countries like Kenya, the Philippines, and India, experiences immense psychological trauma. They are the human cost of a polished, friendly AI. Your seamless, clean, helpful experience is, in a very real way, built on top of their hidden sacrifice. So, after hearing about the cost in water, the cost in energy, and the cost in human well-being, where does that leave us? What are we supposed to do with this information? Now look, the goal here is not to make you feel guilty and swear off AI forever. That's like trying to stop the ocean with a bucket. This technology is here, and it's a huge leap forward. But as the people who use it, we have a right to know the true cost. We should be conscious of what we're consuming. And knowing all this gives us power. It empowers us to ask for something better, to push for a future where AI is designed to be more efficient with water and energy, and where it's built ethically, not on a foundation of hidden waste and human exploitation. Ultimately, we're all left with this one big question. The price of this new AI-powered world is steep. It costs us resources, and it costs us a piece of our humanity. Now that you know the real bill, you have to decide for yourself, is it worth it?